What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nicole. Today's video is about 10 tips on how to not become a side piece, because you don't want to be for the streets, sis. You don't want to be for the streets. Tip number 1, never assume status. If he has not set you down and had a one-on-one and said, bitch, I like you, do you like me? I've been thinking about you, have you been thinking about me? I want you to be mine, do you want me to be yours? Any type of conversation to claim your ass. Don't assume that y'all are in a relationship, because chances are you in a relationship all by yourself, all in your head. It's all in your mind. Tip number 2 is don't be too available. Like, don't always be that girl that he could hit up and be like, hey, what you doing? And you always saying nothing, and you always been available, and you canceling your plans with your friends to make plans and room for him. Like, keep your plans with your friends, keep your schedule, whatever you had going on during your day, and when you're really free, then make time for him. And even if you are free at the time he hits you up, just make up something and say you got something else to do, because I guarantee you men want what they cannot have. And if you're always that chick available, he feel like the same way you're available for him, you're available for the next guy. Even if he just sparks your interest enough to make you want to change your plans, that's not how he thinking. He thinking like, well, if I hit her up all the time and she's always free, the next nigga can hit her up and she always free for him too. So make yourself unavailable sometimes. I don't care if your stomach touching your back and he offering to take you to a 5-star restaurant. Say that you're busy and you got something else to do, and schedule it for another date. Tip number 3 is to wait at least 3 months. 1, 2, 3. Wait at least 3 months before you invite him into your home. Why? Because once you get used to having him in your home, you're going to feel a certain way about him not being there when he's not there. So you're going to miss him when he's not there. You're going to be sitting around looking at your couch like, ooh, he sat on this couch, he was in these sheets, I still smell him in my bathroom. So don't invite him into your home. Tip number 3 is don't invite him into your home for at least 3 months. That'll give you at least enough time to get to know the basics about him. So I just got to add a side note. I just got to add a disclaimer that I know there are some chicks who are proud to be side chicks, and they don't need the morning check-ins. They don't need the good morning messages. They just want the D on the weekend. So if that is you, more power to you, sis. And this is not the video for you. This video is about women who do not want to become side chicks. This is 10 tips on how to not become a side chick. So if you are perfectly fine with being a side piece, this is not for you. So keep it pushing. Tip number 4 is don't look like a hoe. Y'all like to throw that around, right? Don't look like a hoe. So I know you might want to show off your goodies if you got some big tatas or a big booty or whatever, but don't look like a hoe. Don't go around this man with your clothes off all the time. Don't wear no fishnet stockings and stuff showing your boobs and stuff all the time. Although men like to look at the fun parts of the women, they don't like everybody else being able to see that. And if you come around him, or if he take you out to dinner and you're exposing everything that you have, all your goodies that's supposed to be for him, he's gonna notice that, whether he says it to you or not, and that's gonna automatically place you in that she for the streets level. Tip number 4 is to be the prize. To act like the prize, to look like the prize, to be the prize. Everything is not all physical. Everything is not all superficial. But for men, that is it plays a big part in how they view you and how they view the world. They want to be able to brag about the type of woman that they're with and the woman that they're with. You can have all the looks, and then if you don't have the status, and if you don't have the etiquettes, and if you don't have the classiness that comes along with it, and the maturity that comes along with being a woman of a certain stature, they're still gonna look at you like that hoe over there. So in order to be the prize, you have to not only look the part, you have to have the maturity and the classiness to act the part as well, to know how to act when you're out in public, to know how to act when you're at a meeting, to know how to act when you're around his friends and around his family, and to know how to be conservative in public and to be a freak in the sheets. Like, nobody wants the chick that's all over the place, drunk, sloppy, being too playful and friendly with everybody. They want you to save that for them. They're not going to want to be with a woman who is always, bringing confrontations to them, a woman who's, never even happy with herself, so she's always unhappy also in a relationship. They're going to want to be with a woman who brings peace, who brings, nurturing to their kids, who brings happiness to their household, a woman who is classy and mature and respects herself and other people as well. So in order to be the prize, you have to have certain characteristics. And for some people, that it is what it is. That's just not you. And I'm not telling anybody to change who you are, but in a sense, you kind of have to, in order to attract probably the type of man that you would want to talk to, in order to get them to like you back. You can't just go about things any type of way and expect to get a positive reaction in return. It just don't work like that. You have to be the prize. You have to act like it. You have to have a certain level of maturity. You have to have a certain level of classiness. You have to have a certain level of standards for your life and for yourself. Let him like you more than you like him, because if you like him more than he likes you, it's never gonna work. Like, I'll say that again. If you like him more than he likes you, it is never going to work. It is a reason why men propose to women and not the other way around, because men are the natural hunters. They know how to go after what they want. There's no such thing, which I hear people say that a lot, and it's kind of irritating to me when they say, oh, he was just shy and he just was intimidated by me. There is no real man that's intimidated by any woman. If you're what he wants, he's gonna go after you. If that's what he wants. If you're not what he wants, then he's not gonna go after you. Tip number 6 is to go with the flow. Like, don't try to force things. If you see that the relationship is not going in the direction you might want it to go, or not being as progressive, as fast as you might have wanted it to progress, then just let it go, sis. Like, don't try and force a man to be ready for more than what he's ready for at the time when he say he ready for whatever he's ready for. Because a lot of times, if you do that, men will falsify what they really, what their intentions really are, just to fit what you say you want. And then ultimately, in his mind, he might think, hey, I just want to smash. But if you say, hey, I don't want to smash unless we're in a relationship, he's going to say, oh, okay, well, let me get in a relationship with you so I can be able to smash. And in his mind, he's just thinking like, hey, I'm just with you for the purpose of being able to smash, and you're thinking like you're in a real life relationship. So don't force things. When you see somebody is resistant to whatever your wants are, just let it be that. Notice that and just let it go. Don't try and force him to be in a monogamous relationship when he has not stated that that's what he wanted and that's what he is ready for. Men are fully capable of saying what they want. They do not need you to try and dissect shit for them. They say what they mean and they mean what they say. It's you listening to the information and turning it into something else. Tip number 7 is don't tell your life story. When you first meet somebody, there's no reason for you to sit there and go on a rant about how your ex did you, how he won shit, how he left you for a girl that had 5 kids and cheated on you with the neighbor and ruined your credit and stole your car and blah, 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 blah. Like, just say, just have like a general reason for the breakup. And until you get to know this person better, don't give your whole life story up. Oh, I was raised without a father. My life was terrible. I grew up, like, don't do that, because not every man, but majority of them ain't shit. And they're going to end up using that information against you in the future, and you're going to regret saying that. So don't give nobody your whole life story. If they open up to you first, then maybe that's a different story. But just keep things, in a general range. Tip number 8 is Don't be in competition with other women. There is no reason for you to sit there and try to compete with the next woman. If there is a number 2, you shouldn't even try to be the number 1, because you might end up being the number 2 once he finds a new number 1. So if you're dealing with the type of guy who compares you to his ex, or compares you to other girls around him or other girls around you, just go ahead and let that go. That it's a lost cause. Just keep it moving on. Always speak positively about other women when they're in your presence, or if they're just brought up. Don't ever, go on a rant with him and speak negatively. Even if you know his ex, don't speak negatively about other women. It just makes you look bad. Tip number 9 is don't be drunk off the dick, or don't get drunk off the, can I say dick? D. Don't be drunk off the D. Don't get drunk off the D. Don't do it. That's self-explanatory. You would think, you would hope, but don't let somebody make you a side piece because you couldn't let go of a physical attraction, a physical connection that you could possibly get with somebody else who would make you their only one, not just the number 1 or a number 2 or a number at all. Don't get drunk off the D. It might be smashing. Let it go. Tip number 10, and we about to be out of here. Almost done. Tip number 10 is to always demand respect, because you teach other people how to treat you. So if you let somebody hit you up in the middle of the night and wake you up out your sleep with that what you doing, that WYD text, that's on you, sis. If you respond to it, it's on you. If you call him or you drunk text him that late night after the club because you feeling high, you had too much to drink and you want some deep, that's on you. If you end up being a side piece, that's on you, because I've given you 10 tips on how to not become a side piece. And